February 1944. The remote anchorage of Truk Lagoon ignites beneath a sky suffocated by oil-fed fire. Waves of American carrier aircraft hammer Japan's most fortified island stronghold, transforming what was once an untouchable naval sanctuary into a floating scrapyard of twisted steel and burning fuel. Yet amid the devastation, several Japanese warships break free and flee northward, gambling that distance, darkness, and speed might grant them survival. On the bridge of the fast-moving battleship USS Iowa, radar screens glow softly in the dim light. Numbers tighten, bearings shift, tracks converge. A pursuit begins, one that will culminate in the longest-range surface gun engagement ever recorded in naval warfare. For most of the Second World War, there was one place in the Central Pacific that loomed like a dark specter over Allied strategy: Truk Lagoon. The Japanese Empire regarded it as a crown jewel. Deep within its massive coral reef, battleships, cruisers, aircraft carriers, submarines, and hundreds of auxiliary vessels sheltered behind natural defenses of staggering scale. The lagoon was so vast that entire convoys could repair, refuel, and reorganize beyond the enemy's reach. Pilots trained there, torpedoes were armed there, admirals planned operations destined to spill American blood across island chains still marked by silent graves. For 2 years, no Allied force dared strike it directly. Strategists called it the Gibraltar of the Pacific, a fortress not built of concrete, but of geography. The lagoon's calm, deep waters shielded ships from rough seas. Radar stations, airfields, and anti-aircraft batteries crowned the horizon like a ring of steel. Japanese commanders believed any frontal assault would be suicidal. An attacking fleet would face waves of aircraft, deadly torpedo attacks, and shore batteries manned by seasoned gunners. Even submarines received repairs within the lagoon, making it the beating heart of Japan's undersea war. But American intelligence advanced faster than Tokyo realized. Codebreakers dissected intercepted transmissions. Reconnaissance aircraft captured grainy photographs revealing ship movements, fuel stockpiles, and expanding infrastructure. Analysts detected a troubling pattern. As long as Truk remained intact, Japan could regenerate losses faster than American island advances could matter. It was no longer merely a base. It was a venomous nest, capable of striking any convoy approaching the Philippines or the Marianas. Yet the balance of power was shifting. American carrier doctrine matured through brutal experience. Pilots learned to dismantle defenses methodically. Radar-guided interceptions blunted Japanese counterattacks. Logistics, the quiet executioner of empires, now favored the United States overwhelmingly. By early 1944, the Pacific War's tide had turned. When intelligence revealed that major Japanese warships at Truk were preparing to reposition, American commanders recognized an opportunity too valuable to ignore. The decision forming in headquarters would soon unleash a storm so ferocious that the lagoon's defenders would never recover. The stage was set. The fortress was about to burn. To understand why the surface chase near Truk shook Japanese admirals to their core, one must understand how they believed naval battles were meant to be fought. Since the early 20th century, Japanese doctrine revolved around kantai-kessen, the concept of a single, decisive fleet engagement. Battleships would close to visual range. Heavy guns would trade thunderous blows. Destroyers would dart forward, unleashing torpedoes. Victory would be earned through courage, discipline, and optical range-finding. For decades, Japan trained obsessively for this moment. Gunnery crews practiced night fighting. Naval academies exalted fighting spirit above mechanical calculation. As long as fleets closed the distance, Japan trusted its torpedoes and gunners to prevail. It was not arrogance. History supported them. The victory over Russia at Tsushima convinced generations that morale and nerve could decide wars at sea. But technology did not stand still. Across the Pacific, American engineers solved a different problem. Instead of relying on visibility, they built machines that could see without light. Radar systems fed analog computers capable of predicting where a moving target would be by the time a shell returned to Earth. Japanese planners, meanwhile, dismissed extreme-range engagements as impractical. Without visual observation of shell splashes, how could one correct fire? To them, firing beyond the horizon was wasteful fantasy. Thus, Japanese warship design emphasized massive guns, thick armor, and torpedo superiority, ideal for medium-range brawls. It left a fatal blind spot. If the enemy could strike from beyond sight, bravery became irrelevant. When radar-guided American salvos began landing near fleeing ships in early 1944, Japanese crews were stunned. Rangefinders saw only smoke. Torpedoes raced into empty sea. No human eye could track shells arcing miles into the sky. Doctrine collided with mathematics, and mathematics prevailed. Japanese officers confronted a terrifying truth. The battlefield had expanded beyond human senses, and they were unprepared. American battleships carried something unprecedented in combat, a mechanical mind. High atop the Iowa-class superstructure sat the Mark 8 fire control radar, its rotating antenna sweeping the sea, detecting ships long before lookouts could pierce haze or darkness. Yet radar was only the beginning. Deep inside the hull lurked the rangekeeper, an analog computer of gears, cams, and gyroscopes performing continuous ballistic calculations. It accounted for target speed, ship movement, wind, drift, humidity, and barrel wear. Engineers joked it calculated everything except prayer. Radar data flowed into the machine, and precise firing solutions emerged. Turrets aligned, elevation gears turned. When the order came, the ship did not guess. It executed. Japanese gunners still relied on optical sights, adjusting fire by observing splashes. Smoke, rain, or curvature of the earth rendered their efforts futile. At extreme range, the enemy vanished below the horizon. Without radar, correction became hope. On February 17, 1944, fleeing Japanese ships would learn this lesson through steel and fire. As Truk Lagoon burned behind them, a small Japanese formation slipped northward under pre-dawn darkness. The light cruiser Katori, escorted by destroyers and an auxiliary vessel, made a desperate escape. Anchored ships were death traps. One bomb could ignite fuel and ammunition in seconds. Speed was survival. American patrol aircraft spotted the fugitives from altitude. Smoke trails and wakes betrayed them. Bearings and speeds flowed by radio to Admiral Spruance. He chose surface pursuit. A powerful task group formed around USS Iowa and USS New Jersey, joined by heavy cruisers and destroyers. At flank speed, they surged forward. Radar contacts appeared as faint blips, invisible to the eye, relentless to the machine. Plotting teams marked courses, calculations tightened. The hunt closed. By early afternoon, Iowa opened fire at over 32,000 yards. The enemy could not be seen. The shells could. Near misses became straddles. Mathematics guided steel. A direct hit shattered Katori. Fires raged. Power died. Destroyers attempted sacrifice and smoke screens. Torpedoes ran. Aircraft spotted wakes. American ships maneuvered calmly. Salvos found their mark. One destroyer vanished in a magazine explosion that split the sea itself. Only Milwaukee escaped, sprinting into rain squalls at over 35 knots. Even she was straddled at more than 35,000 yards, a record never surpassed. Then the storm swallowed her. No cheers followed, only log entries. In 90 minutes, radar did not merely sink ships. It destroyed a doctrine. The decisive battle Japan dreamed of had moved beyond vision, beyond courage, beyond tradition. The battleship's final triumph had come, even as its era faded. Steel giants thundered once more, not in glory, but in proof. And that proof would never be needed again.